Shalom, shalom, akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which would be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, which may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to get into a brief lesson speaking on the power of the words of the Lord and how he's armored his elect with it, which comes in the form of the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of this truth. Salakia, Kahala Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is 144, where I'm at presently. Kahala Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But as I was saying, which he's armored his elect with, okay? Which comes in the form of this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. And what he has opened us up to is the understanding of death. And when you take a glance into time, our righteous forefathers and foremothers understood reincarnation as well, and understood that there is no such thing as death. And there's one account I want to get into briefly in 2 Maccabees, the 12th chapter, when Judas Maccabees actually sent a sum of money to Jerusalem as a sin offering in the stead of some disobedient jakes. But Lord willing, we can get into that briefly. And you had Job, that was aware of there being no such thing as death. Okay, our Lord Yahweh Shai spoke on it oftentimes. Matthew 19 comes to mind when he was speaking to Simon Peter regarding their reward, okay, which will come in the form of the eon to come, where they will sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. You see, so it's all over the scriptures, man. You have the 7 Hebrew boys. Okay, they understood this idea. Even their mom. Okay, when she mentions how she'll see, hopefully the Lord will bring them to her again. You see, so our forefathers and foremothers understood. They had the understanding of reincarnation. Okay, it's also written in Numbers, man. Going into every 3 to 4 generations, man. The Lord visits the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, man. What do you think that's going into? You see, so this is what Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai has armed his elect with that understanding. Okay, which is going to strengthen those of the elect, Lord willing, we're part of that precious number in these latter days, man, as we creep up to some terrible times, man. Where specific lots are going to have to be fulfilled. Okay, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, they will be accomplished. Because the elect are already wired to fulfill their lots. So through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, let's go to 2 Maccabees real quick and get into this account where it highlights how Judas Maccabeus himself was fully aware of the idea of reincarnation. Now, real quick, just to give a quick highlight, of this chapter. This is pretty much after covenants were made with the Jews and with pretty much Lysias, right, the governor of Syria, of the Seleucid Empire, made a covenant, a peace, pretty much like a peace treaty with the Jews. Also, the Romans did also. You can read about it in the 11th chapter. And the Romans did also. Who was it? Quintus Mamius, right? He was like he pretty much an aristocrat. You know, he belonged to one of the, I want to say, if not the richest, one of the richest families in Rome at the time. And then you also had Titus, Titus Manilius, right? And he was a general of the Roman Republic. And they also, made a covenant, in the form pretty much of a peace treaty with the Jews regarding them being able to eat their own meats and, worship their own power. But you had a few individuals in the form of, who was it? Timotheus, right? He was a commander for the Greeks, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have, it was Apollonius. You had that wicked nigga Nicanor, Georgias. These niggas weren't with that. And they continued to press. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Let me jump up. Let's prove that real quick. Right here. Let me read verses 1 and 2. Let's start here. We'll jump around a little bit just to bring this all into context so it all makes sense. The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 12 and verse 1. And it reads, when these covenants were made, the covenants we were just talking about, right? Lysias went unto the king, and the Jews were about their husbandry. But of the governors of several places, Timotheus and Apollonius, the son of Junius, also Hieronymus and Demophon, and beside them Nicanor, the governor of Cyprus, would not suffer them to be quiet and live in peace. You see? And ultimately, you had individuals, the men of Joppa, as it's gonna go into, they ended up drowning close to 200 Jews, if not over 200 Jews, right? And then you had these individuals out of the Jamnites. They were the Jamnites. They also intended to do harm to us as well. And then Judas Maccabees came through and also put hell on them as well. And he crept on both of them at nighttime. That's the spirit. When you read this chapter, it goes into it, how we pressed them in the night. He pressed their safe havens and, their navy, and burnt them up, and burnt up their, they pretty much set fire to them, right? And ultimately, just fast forward, to the point, we ended up, Judas Maccabeus and his body of soldiers, the hosts, they ended up descending upon Georgias, right? And upon descending upon Georgias, a couple of jakes got dropped. All right. Now, ultimately, those jakes that got dropped, it was found out that they were carrying idols, okay, from the Jamnites. It was found out. Matter of fact, let me just get it real. It's a couple of precepts up. Right here. Let's just start here. Let's just start up. Not too far up, though. Let's just start right here at verse 40. Now, under the coats of every... Now, this is upon them pressing on Georgias. They end up, boom, they butt heads. It was going down. Let me see, actually, matter of fact. Let me start up. I'll jump down. 2 Maccabees, chapter 12 and verse 32. And after the feast called Pentecost, they went forth against Georgias, the governor of Idumea, who came out. Now remember, Georgias is that Syrian Seleucid general, right? Edomites, man. Idumeans, right? Who came out with 3,000 men of foot and 400 horsemen. And it happened that in their fighting together, a few of the Jews were slain. See that? Now let's jump down. This is why, right? Now, under the coats of every one that was slain, they found things consecrated to the idols of the Jamnites. Okay, so upon Judas Maccabeus and his men pressing on them Jamnites, because they intended to do hurt like the men of Joppa did, you had Jake taking idols from them, man, going completely off. But guess what happened? The repercussion to that was what? You already know, right? They got put down. Right now, under the coat, because the Lord was dealing with Judas Maccabeus heavy at this time. They weren't losing any battles, man, or any men. They were cleaning the house. Now let's continue on. Now, under the coats of everyone that was slain, they found things consecrated to the idols of the Jamnites, which is forbidden the Jews by law. See, which is forbidden the Jews by law. When every man saw that this was the cause wherefore they were slain. See, it made sense. They were tripping. They transgressed. Okay, they transgressed the law. What are the wages of sin? Death, deletion. You see? And they were idol worshiping on the low, sneaking it in. Okay, and they got found out. Because why? They were able to fool men. But no, but the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. And just to throw this point out here, that's what's going to happen to a lot of you infiltrators and you spies that are amongst us, man. The same thing's going to happen to you. You playing it sweet, you know, with the true believers, with the true men, women, and children that believe the report. Okay, but ultimately you're going to be found out. And you're going to get caught slipping. Right, but anyway, sticking to the point. Now let's jump down and let's just fast forward to the point now. Now this is what makes sense now. Okay, now check out what Judas Maccabeus did, right? 2 Maccabees chapter 12 and verse 43, and it reads, "And when he had made a gathering throughout the company to the sum of 2,000 drachms of silver," and I believe a drachm is like an eighth of a cup. You see, so like 2,000 would be like close to like USD money. I looked it up. I believe it was like a little over $6. But continuing on. He sent it to Jerusalem to offer a sin offering. See that? Remember, this is pre-Yahweh Shai. So they were still moving under the vibration of what? The Levitical priesthood. Right? Let's continue on. Doing therein very well and honestly, and in that he was mindful of the resurrection. He was mindful of the resurrection. What resurrection, man? Reincarnation. Real quick. Let's just get this real quick for edification.
Resurrection.
Resurrection, right? The action or fact of resurrecting or being resurrected. Right? Raising from the dead. Restoration to life. Okay? Is what we want. Because ultimately you come in a new body. Okay? You come in a new body. New flesh. Right? But Judas Maccabeus believed in that. He understood that. So therefore, that's why he sent those sin offerings. You see? He understood that. He had that understanding. He understood the Numbers 14. He knew of Numbers 14. He had to. You see, as a matter of fact, let's go get that real quick. We'll jump back over here. The book of Numbers chapter 14 and verse 18, it reads, "The Lord is long-suffering and is of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression." See that? Judas Maccabeus put a sin offering up, man, for them to be relieved of what they done, even though they were already punished for it. Check this out. "And by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation." What does this mean? Every 3 to 4 generations you come back. That's what that means. A generation is what, 30 years? So every 90 to 120 years, your spirit, okay, is regenerated back on this planet Earth. All right, and you come through a man and a woman having sex, okay? And you manifest, okay, in a womb, okay? And you are in a new body, same spirit, new body. Okay? Here to face judgment. Judas Maccabeus understood this, man. Let me get one more precept. The book of Proverbs, chapter 14, and verse 32, and it reads, the wicked is driven away in his wickedness, but the righteous have hope in his death. You see that? And this is starting with the elect, but ultimately, all of Israel, okay, has hope in death. Why? Because pursuant to Isaiah 60, what? All of our people are going to be righteous. Isaiah 45, Israel is an everlasting, there's an everlasting salvation with Israel, man. A world without end. You see, so ultimately, all Israelites have hope in their death, man. All Israelites have hope in their death. But this is starting with the elect. This is starting with the elect. You see, but the 2/3 Jakes on the other side, hey, they'll be back at some point. But as it's written in Second Esdras, after death by pain, man. After death by pain. See? Let's continue on. Let's go back. But the point I'm making is Judas Maccabeus understood this, man. You see, he was it says here, and that he was mindful of the resurrection. Let's get a little more. Well, the points in the last verse, right? To Maccabees, right? Salakia. Second Maccabees 12:44. For if he had not hoped that they were slain, should have risen again, it had been superfluous and vain to pray for the dead. See, he had the understanding. He was aware that after death, what's it say? Where's that at? Let's go get that real quick. Salakia. Let's go get this. He was aware of this, man. See, see, this is the understanding that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua has armored his elect with. Lord willing, we're part of that precious number. The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 14, and verse 35, and it reads, for after death shall the judgment come. What's that mean? When we shall live again. Reincarnation. Restoration of life. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. You see that? You got to pay for what you've done, man. And ultimately, the point I'm making in this lesson is that we can't be separated from our lot. Because here it is, you got Evil E that has plans on executing a lot of Jake. And he's foaming at the mouth to get his hands on those of the hopeful elect, man. And pursuant to biblical prophecy, he's going to be able to touch a few. You see? But the point of the matter is, that's not going to separate them from their lot. See? That's not going to separate them from them being part of the first resurrection. Why? Because they're blessed and holy. And they've been preordained since the foundations of the earth. Let's go back. Continuing on in 2 Maccabees chapter 12 and verse 44 from the top. For if he had not hoped, see that he had the spirit of hope on him too. We are prisoners of hope, man. This is why the Lord was dealing with Judas Maccabeus on a high level, man. You can imagine he's the elect. He's part of the elect. Hands down, right? For if he had not hoped that they that were slain should have risen again, it had been superfluous and vain to pray for the dead. It wouldn't have made no sense. It would have been pointless for him to send that 2,000 drachms to Jerusalem, man, to offer up as a sin offering, man. It would have been, you know what I'm saying? Continuing on. And also, 2 Maccabees 12 and 45, and also in that he perceived that there was great favor laid up for those that died godly. He understood that. And the scriptures say that. We're going to go get it, right? It was in holy and good thought. Beautiful, right? Whereupon he made a reconciliation for the dead in the form of those 2,000 drachms, right? As a sin offering, that they might be delivered from sin. Judas Maccabeus had a clear understanding of reincarnation. Clear understanding to the point where he went out of his way to send 2,000 drachms, man, to Jerusalem for a sin offering. This is heavy. And his perception on great favor being laid up for those that died godly is 100% correct. 144% correct. And we can prove it. Let's go here. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. In the New Testament. Now the Lord, you see how the Lord gave, man, this is beautiful. The Lord gave us the complete understanding, man, in order for us to be able to fulfill our will. His will. Our lot. You see? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai gave us everything we need, okay, in order for us to fulfill his will, okay, and to fulfill our lot. He armored the hopeful elect with the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man, of all things, man, regarding salvation. Okay? He didn't leave no stone unturned. Okay? We know some are going to have to go back to the spiritual world briefly, man, in efforts to fulfill biblical prophecy. But guess what? What does it say about that? The book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, in verse 14, it reads, "For if we believe that Yahweh Shai died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahweh Shai will Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep." Right? Those that have had to go back to the spiritual realm. You see? "For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and the dead and Mashiach shall rise first." This is written, man. This is how this thing's gonna go down. This is why we shouldn't fear the wages of death, man. The Lord's telling us plain Jane right here, hey, you gotta go to sleep. You coming back. Okay? And there's gonna be a spirit on those of the elect in that moment of transition. And they're gonna know. How do we know that? Because they're gonna go like a lamb to the slaughter, man. A sheep to the slaughter. They're not gonna be tripping because they're gonna understand. Who has resisted the will of the Lord, man? It's just the way it's written. It would have to play out like that. But there's comfort in knowing and understanding that you will be back. Okay? You will be back. Hey, you will be the first raised up. We gotta keep, speaking on behalf of myself first and foremost, keep that in our mental Rolodex, man. That's armor right there. To strengthen you in that moment, man. If that's your lot. Right? Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, right? In the chariots. To meet the Lord in the air. And going right into that Revelations 11, man. Come up hither. This is echoing that deliverance, man, in Revelations 11. To meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord, right? Because we're going to come into our everlasting kingdom, man. Okay? Let's blow this up. Wherefore, comfort one another with these words, man. See, and this is the form of understanding Okay, that Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is armored, okay, his elect with. Lord willing, we're part of that precious number. And that's going to allow us to be delivered, okay, into glory. That's going to allow us, man, to be able to obtain, okay, that salvation. Right, as it's written in Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy time and the strength of salvation. What wisdom and knowledge of these scriptures? The understanding of death, man. You're not going to lose it, okay, if you truly understand and if you truly trust in the Lord. As a matter of fact, let's close out right here. Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, in the 9th verse, and it reads, they that put their trust in him and who? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, shall understand the truth. See that? And such as I be faithful, so like, and such as be faithful in love. And love is what? To keep his commandments. Us men of the Lord on the highways and byways that have been called into the positions of leaders, man. We had to feed his sheep, right? Shall abide with him, right? For grace and mercy is to his saints, which are Israelites, but more specifically, and he hath care for his elect. Aboratazah, we're part of that precious number, man. Lord willing. Okay, because ultimately, we're going to take part in that first resurrection. We're going to take part in that crowning ceremony. We're going to take part in being able to reign with Mashiach for 1,000 years, man. Okay, the period of these heathen going into captivity. We're going to take part in these things, man. This is huge. This is huge, man. And ultimately, if we're part of the elect, guess what? We have been granted access to mercy. Okay? And mercy is going to be the most sought after commodity in these latter days. But it's only going to be shown and given to a few. And that's the elect. This is why we hope and pray to be part of that precious number, man. Abaratazah. Keep fighting, Akiyam and Akwaf. Because we almost there. I mean, it's playing today. They got that movie out called Leave the World Behind. I'm actually in the process of watching it. I'm pretty much halfway through. I'm trying to catch up on some things. Hopefully I can find some time to finish it. If not tonight, tomorrow. And Lord willing, probably, speak on that. Because as you can see, there's a lot of I'll leave it like this. Predictive program. We'll call it that. Predictive program without a doubt. Okay, because that's what's coming. Major blackouts and EMP attacks. That's going to happen, man. That's coming. You see, so you unbelievers out there, brace yourself and get ready. Because it's coming. We know it's coming. Okay, you 2/3 Jake and you heathen think it's a game. But you're going to find out. You're going to find out. You see, you are going to find out. But those of us of the hopeful elect, stay strong. Akiyam and Akwaf. We almost there. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Lord willing, you Akiyam and Akwaf were edified. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kal Halalium La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Quadash. Shalom.